Hi everyone, and so we're going to do my second video today, which is going to be about chapter 2 of this book, which is Goodbye to Guilt by Gerald G Jampolskyj. And the book is actually based on a course called A Course of Miracles, which is a self-study program, and it's for personal and spiritual transformation. Okay, so the emphasis is on the necessity of relying on our own internal teacher for guidance rather than looking for a teacher which is outside of ourselves. The course, it actually consists of, this is all in the book, it actually consists of text, sets forth the concepts on which its thought system is based. There's a workbook which has 365 lessons, so one a day, and they're designed for a practical application with questions and answers forms to clarify terms and issues related to a cause. It's a spiritual teaching and not a religion. And it uses the Christian terminology, which is ecumenical in nature, which is promoting unity among the world's Christian churches. The course states that the universal theology is impossible, but a universal experience is not only possible, it's necessary. So that obviously we all need to be loving each other and respecting each other, so that the world could be actually a more peaceful place. The goal of the course is to lead us from the world of the ego to the world of love. Once we're caught in the world of the ego, this is Gerald's interpretation, and obviously the course as well. It's one of perception. It is as though we are imprisoned in a dream. So the course stresses that as long as we identify with our ego and believe we are limited by boundaries of what we believe in the physical world, we cannot experience our true reality. So whilst we've got all those limiting beliefs and those limiting thoughts which actually stop us, until we actually break through those limiting beliefs and those barriers, then we could never be our true self, a true spiritual self. So until we challenge the ego, we will go through life more concerned with getting than giving, feeling guilty, separate and afraid. We'll make condemning judgments and blaming others, ourselves and others. So when the ego is guiding us, it's guiding us through guilt and fear, and they rule our life. And obviously when we're going through life, it's interesting when things happen, you actually don't realise that because you're doing things automatically, you actually don't realise that it is part of guilt is attached to it, because it's become part of your automatic pilot from in your subconscious mind, from your programming as you've grown up and things like that. So it's about actually trying to change the way we look at things and being more loving when we do it. If we detach from our ego, it's possible to correct our perception, which is a world of love. Guilt and fear is like a cloud obscuring the sun. Okay, so we are all miracles of love, but we are blind to the truth. Okay, he then states that some quotes from the course that are the underlying theme of the philosophy in the book. So when you feel guilty, your ego is in command, because only the ego can experience guilt. So whenever you're feeling that guilt, that's your ego talking, okay? And we have to stop it, and we have to start thinking about how we can change it to be more loving. Only your mind can produce the fear, okay? So it's the mind what's working when the mind is working when we are feeling the guilt and the fear. So it's about being conscious that when you have them feelings, that it's your thoughts pattern what's actually making it. It's not actually real, okay? So we've got to learn to control them thoughts. Love holds no grievances. And it's also another quote is, I will not be afraid of love today. Love and guilt cannot coexist, and to accept one is to deny the other. So if we're feeling that guilt or feeling that fear, then we're not accepting the love. We can't feel the love as well as guilt. So we have to make sure that we are going towards the love side. To love yourself is to heal yourself. All healing is to release from the past. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. Only my own condemnation injures me. Only my own forgiveness sets me free. So if we actually take the time to forgive ourselves, then it makes us a better person, and it also allows us to give more love to other people. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. Okay, so once we forgive people, we can actually be able to move on, and we can actually stop that inner conflict, what goes on within us. Now, I can relate to this. When I'm going through this chapter again and writing things down, there are things coming through with my past life, with not my past life, but during the situations what I've been through in my journey of life, where I can actually relate to this, where there's forgiveness what is needed. And I am going to be organising a tapping session because it needs to be cleared, because as I'm writing this book, it's actually there. I can feel it, you know. So I need to work on it to tap it out. So, and this is what this is about. It's about releasing all those fears of guilt and, you know, the guilt and the fear. So attitudinal healing is a cross-cultural method of healing that helps remove self-imposed blocks such as judgmental, blame, shame, and self-condemnation. Okay, so so we can experience lasting love, peace, and happiness. So Gerald got a lot from the course, and he decided to apply these principles in working with catastrophically, I can't say the word, catastrophically ill children. Okay, so but the course isn't actually the course was not used with these children, but the attitudinal healing principles were. Okay, so it's about giving self-love and making sure that you did the lasting love and the peace and the happiness rather than judging. But around this time, Gerald had great hang-ups about his own inevitability of his own death. Okay, so when he was I think it was 1975, he actually did that. He actually went and worked in this place with these ill children, and he had a fear of his own death. But working with the children and the adults within this centre who were facing the possibilities of their own death, seeing members of their extended family as the teachers, it gave him a wonderful opportunity to heal his own attitudes about death. So I know there's a lot of people, and I know a long time ago I had a fear of death. Yeah, I don't think about it as much now. What I actually believe now is that we are all on a journey, and it's, you know, we have to live life for the full whilst we are here. Because we never know from one day to the next whether it's going to be our last day, you know. So it's a case of making sure that we're at love and peace with ourselves and with everybody around us, so that we can live life and be our true self. Okay. At the centre, they educate people to have this inner peace by healing and letting go of the fear. So it's the belief of the centre that it is not people or conditions that cause us to be upset, but rather our thoughts and our attitudes. So when we have our thoughts and our attitudes, okay, when we are dealing with people, and this happens, I've had it this morning where thoughts have come into my head, but you've got to acknowledge them and then accept them, and then we'll think about how you can move them on and change them. Okay, so in the centre they establish an atmosphere of unconditional love, where we learn to recognise the love in others rather than concentrate on their faults. It is the belief that giving and receiving is the same, and therefore if we help others, we help ourselves. So if we take the time to help other people, we are actually helping ourselves feel better, because we're offering that love. Okay. The principle implies there is no separation, our minds are all joined. And the emphasis is on this present moment, and it's the only time there is, and its only purpose is for giving love and letting go. So it's about staying in that present moment. And this, like I said, this is all come out of this book, what he talks about in this chapter. At the time of the book, in the US, they had 35 centres teaching this attitudinal healing, but they are now all over the world. I've done a search on the attitudinal healing, and they're actually all over the world now. They're in quite a few countries. We do not have to have a life-threatening illness to apply these principles to our daily life. We all have unhealed relationships that can be healed. But what happens is we actually get into this bondage and this attachment to our guilt and our fears of the past that cause not only our internal conflict but external conflicts of what we see in the world. So it's about acknowledging them and getting them released. Now that's where the tap around the clock actually works, because we can tap these emotions and these feelings out. So like I said, that's one of the things I will be messaging one of my friends after and saying I need some tapping to be done, because I can feel I can feel some of the anxiety and some of the issues whilst I've been doing this, that I need to actually do some clearing on it. So we become stuck with mundane issues and self-pleasures of our lives, and we forget about the peace in the world. Oh, it's peace, peace, peace in the world, he says. The premise of the book is that it's to heal relationships, our relationships. We must be first willing to find peace within ourselves, and then we can extend that peace to everyone else. And as we make healing of our relationships through love and forgiveness, the most important thing we can do in our lives is peace in the world will become inevitable. So as soon as we feel at peace with ourselves, then it will be able to pass peace around the world, and that's what that's what we actually need to try and work for. So a little bit longer than yesterday's, and that was the overview of what the book is about. So we are going to go into, we're going to have a chat about what the gentleman, what Gerald Jampolsky actually used to believe before he actually started doing the Course of Miracles, and actually when he wrote this book. I hope you find that useful. If you've got any questions, please feel free to get in touch. Also, like I said, I've got the tools to help you to be able to deal with some of the some of the emotions that do come up. So feel free to contact me and let me know. But that's the book, what we're working on and what we're talking about. So it's called Goodbye to Guilt. So I hope you have a lovely day and stay safe, guys.